I read 15 books this year, and for me, I think that was amazing. As some of you know, I got a Kindle this year, and I do think that actually really contributed to how many books I read. Hey y'all, it's Shola. I wanted to go over the books I read 2024. So kind of doing like a Spotify Wrapped, but Goodreads. If you haven't heard of Goodreads, it's basically an app where you can track your books. It gave me my year in books. So let's get into what I did for 2024. So I read 15 books, as I mentioned, which was 5,511 pages. I think that's amazing. Shortest book I did read this year was Somebody's Wife by Robbie Renee, which was 234 pages. And the longest book I read this year was Real by Kennedy Ryan. Kennedy Ryan was actually one of my favorite authors I read this year. I definitely am a Kennedy Ryan stan now. I read Before I Let Go, and then I also read This Could Be Us, and I just had to read more of her books. So, going over all the books that I read this year for 2024, Mame by Jessica George. If you have not read that book, I definitely recommend it. I think I rated that 5 out of 5. I started the year with Black Girls Must Have It All last year. I started reading that series, and that was the third book of the year. If you haven't read that series, I think that's just like a good one to add to the list. Honey and Spice, such a cute novel for me. I rated that pretty high. I think I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars. Ties That Tether, that was okay. I would definitely read that one as well. All the books I read this year, I kind of really enjoyed them all, so I'm going to be recommending that you read them all. Another series that I got into was by Kristina Forrest, so The Neighbor Favor, which was book number 1, which follows 3 sisters, and then I read The Partner Plot, and Nearly All Men in Lagos Are Mad was a funny novel. I got into that as well. And as I mentioned, I really loved Kennedy Ryan this year. So as I got on TikTok, I kind of saw what other books I should read for the year. And they talked about the Hoop series. So Long Shot, definitely check your trigger warnings on that. Then I read Block Shot and Hook Shot, which I really adore. And I cannot wait to see the newest book from Kennedy Ryan in 2025. So I will definitely be reading that as well. Real, I read that book, but I actually listened to that book on audio, which was another recommendation that I saw on TikTok because there is music in it. It's definitely a good audiobook to listen to, and it's long, so I would highly recommend that. And then Somebody's Wife by Robbie Renee, definitely spicy. Love that book as well. So all in all, and then I read The Wedding Date. So that's another The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. That's another series. That one was a little slower to start, but there's so many books in that series, so I wanted to get into that as well. And I would say my favorite book this year would definitely be Before I Let Go, or This Could Be Us. I cannot wait for Kendrick's novel to come out this year. But if you have any questions about the books I read this year, drop it down in the comments below. And my goal for the year was 10 books, so I actually surpassed that because I read 15 books, which I'm pretty proud of. I do think the Kindle does make you read more, so shout out to my Kindle. And I have not set my goal yet for 2025, but I look forward to seeing what books I plan to read. I am definitely supporting my Nigerian authors this year again, and then also Kennedy Ryan. So looking to see what other series I have not read from her yet. But let me know what books y'all are reading for 2025. I would love to know. But that's it. Bye. Talk to y'all later.